Namaste, it's Ewelina here. In today's video we will have a look at alignment of downward facing dog, so Adho, Mukha, Svanasana. We will start it from the plank position. So first, placing your palms right underneath the shoulders, fingers wide open, and distributing all the body weight equally over all the palms, as in any position when our palms are touching the mat. Now my shoulders are above the wrists. So keeping that way, I will just straighten one leg to the back, then the other leg to the back. Feet are hip-width apart. And from here, I'm gonna lift my bum up and then walk one step to the front. So just stepping a little step to the front. So this is downward facing dog. In here, there are a couple of elements we will focus on. Palms, as we already mentioned, are firmly grounded. Now, let's have a look at the shoulders. We don't want to be bringing them close towards our neck, towards our ears. We want to really roll them externally, away from the shoulders. What gives the freedom to our neck and doesn't create the tension in the trapezius muscles. The main aim of the downward facing dog is actually lengthening of the spine. So if your spine looks in that way, there is nothing happening what is supposed to happen actually in this posture for you. So then it's much better to just bend the knees, leave the tailbone higher and really lengthen the spine. Even if your heels are not touching the floor, even if your knees are bent, this is totally okay. As long as your spine is long and straight, it's really good. If it's possible, then of course we want to straighten the legs and bring the heels towards the floor. However, we don't want to bend our back in here. Other thing, lifting your hips up. So you really want to focus to be rolling your hips up. You can see the difference. Now the hips are just resting. Now I'm really rolling my tailbone up, lifting it up as much as I can. What gives more stretch to my back and more stretch to the back of my legs. Feet are parallel to each other. You want to avoid collapsing your knees inwards. So even if your knees are bent, try to keep them also hip-width apart, feet-width apart, so you are not closing them towards each other. In Ashtanga, we are gazing towards the navel, towards your belly bottom. So as I mentioned, you want to avoid curving, but you want to also avoid hyperflexing your back. So if you are touching with your head somewhere on the floor, that probably means that you are over-curving your spine, and this is not needed neither, because we want to lengthen. The main aim, as I mentioned, is lengthening of the spine. Thank you so much for joining me today. Please subscribe, share, and stay tuned for the next videos. Namaste!